Scaro, free Scaro!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 1044. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
Do not adjust your podcast set, your television podcast set. If you've listened on immediate drop, a supporter of Radio Free Skaro, this is coming out on Saturday, December 6th, so that we don't give you any confusion that this isn't an episode reviewing the first two episodes of The War Between the Land and the Sea, or indeed the Sea Devils edited down Redux version of which... No, the story, it's okay to call it that.
Okay.
Or are they going to call it, they got a Doctor Who and Homo Aqua, I don't know.
Well, it's not Redux if it's Homo Aqua. So.
That's true. That's coming out also on the 7th like that. Of course, being in Canada, we have no way of watching any of these, so we're just going to guess at literally everything we're going to talk about in the next episode. But so today we're getting our Torchwood Children of Earth review done. Our spoiler alert, we really liked that spin-off, and
yes,
at the time I think we were a lot more hopeful for The War Between the Land and the Sea. Now that we've seen some reviews sort of come out a little bit, maybe our enthusiasm for this new spin-off is slightly tempered, especially Warren, who seems to be kind of down on it. But
no, I'm not even down on it, I'm just indifferent to it, basically.
Indifference, oh, okay.
Yeah.
The most dangerous emotion of them all, really.
I will watch it out of a sense of duty, which is the worst part.
Wow.
Duty.
I knew you were going to say that, Chris. You didn't and did disappoint at the same time.
Yeah. I have that effect on speech.
Chris, what about what are your feelings on the eve of the war between the land and the sea?
As we go into this, so nothing in the show notes or news about this, but we've seen some press recently, like we had was it RTD and somebody on some show, and
oh right, yeah, like the BBC morning show, and there's the one show,
and then Russell Tovey and
Gemma Redgrave.
Yes, Gemma Redgrave.
Yeah.
You think I'd remember that after 13 years of her being on the show?
I know, right?
Anyway, yeah, Russell Tovey and Gemma Redgrave doing another thing, and whatever. I haven't had a chance to watch that stuff yet. It's on the list of YouTube stuff to get to. But,
yeah, I know. There's a lot.
So, despite not really getting absorbing as much of the hype as I could, I'm looking forward to it well enough. I'm curious to see what it is. Some of the initial reviews really remind me of Torchwood season 1 for how the show gets described, but hopefully it's nice and distinct.
I mean, I'm intrigued of, we've said this all the time, but the fact that it's a later start time, but it doesn't feel like it's like, hey, we're swearing and stuff, and there's going to be, there is nudity, because all those Homo Aqua people have no clothes on, and they should be wearing string vests, for God's sake,
Maybe they're going to tie it into Torchwood season 2, and we'll finally know where that fish who was strung out on cocaine driving a Range Rover is from.
The blowfish in the convertible, you mean?
Or whatever it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Or high on cocaine.
I mean, there is that's a great for that song. But
I laughed. I did laugh when they showed that. I can't completely fault it.
That's true.
Well, that's how Torchwood did adult.
That's how they did it.
That and the love potion thing that Owen uses with that.
Don't remind me of that problematic episode.
But as you've heard, hopefully, over the past 4 weeks, and indeed into this week. Well, spoiler alert, we also liked Day 5 of Children of Earth. That is the proper way to sort of tell mature storylines without being immature about it. And there's Colin McFarlane's character, the general, is in both. So that's the tie, apparently. And of course, apparently there's
one of them, yep.
There's same corridors and staircases and offices that Russell T Davies has promised.
I could see them reusing some of the government sets.
I don't know about sets, but location. I have to think they probably shot a lot of that on location, because why would you say, let's build this nondescript staircase, store it for almost 20 years, and then bring it back for it. Maybe they did
to keep weirdos like you happy.
Yeah, maybe.
I was going to say, watch how quickly we ignore that statement.
Yeah, a good point. Anyway, we'll be talking about the War Between next week. We're probably aiming for Wednesday releases, I think, at this point. Maybe Tuesday. I don't know. Give you time to watch the episodes, and for those outside of the UK, give you time to find the episodes and watch them. Mm-hmm. Tuesday or Wednesday.
Stumble upon.
Yeah, don't know when yet. Probably Wednesdays. Though I'm getting since Verity's on hiatus, we can claim the Wednesday release slot, perhaps that they once inhabited. And
just to throw it out there, So before we started recording, we were looking at the War Between soundtrack, which officially came out today, December 5th, as we record this.
Yeah.
Which
today's December 6th. I don't want to confuse people, but yeah, it came out.
Today is the 6th. Okay,
yeah,
well, there you go. So yesterday, when the War Between soundtrack dropped, on iTunes, it doesn't have the track 17, which is Heroes, the redo of Heroes, but on Amazon Music apparently they do list it just without the title yet,
and it's grayed out too.
Mysterious.
And you had reminded me because I'd forgotten that it's apparently next Friday that the last track drops from the soundtrack.
Yes, Heroes with Alison Goldfrapp. I'm wondering if that plays into one of the episodes, episode 3 or 4, or something like that, perhaps.
Maybe she changes the lyrics and describes what's happening on screen, which is always gold.
Which is a Netflix thing, which we'll get into in a little bit.
True, yes.
Yeah, for some reason
she released it as a vertical.
Maybe. Oh God, maybe. Like I'm looking on iTunes right now, and I can't actually buy the album. I like to buy the soundtrack albums. I've done that for the in recent years. Whenever Mark Harris puts out a new Doctor Who soundtrack that he's worked hard on, I said, you know what, I will throw him the $10 on iTunes to honor his effort. I can buy individual tracks for some reason for this soundtrack, but not the whole album. Maybe because there is a track that's not on it and it's screwing up the system or something like that. So maybe when Heroes comes out, I'll be able to buy the album and support Lauren Balfe because he needs the money, and buy the whole soundtrack off of iTunes, as opposed to just listening in Apple Music, because I'm one of those people who supports music as we talk about ways to work around getting to watch this Doctor Who spinoff.
I have Apple Music, but that makes me a bad person, apparently.
Yeah, horrible, Warren.
Right,
horrible.
It's one of the added to the list.
Yeah. Anyway, the bulk of this episode is us finishing our Torchwood Children of Earth review. There's other news on the list as well, but to talk about we'll talk about a couple non-Who related things, one is just exciting, 2 is industry related, not necessarily Doctor Who related, but it might be Doctor Who related. Let's get the fun thing out of the way first. Star Wars is apparently coming back into theaters February of 2027.
Real Star Wars.
Proper Star Wars, remastered 4K, 6K, gorgeous, supposedly.
Not screwed with, no grief shooting first.
Apparently, until I see it,
I won't believe it till I see it, like all Star Wars things. But
yeah,
if it ain't got dewbacks, it ain't legit.
It does have dewbacks; they just don't move.
Yeah, because how it does move a little bit. Like you can see his head move a tiny bit, but you look at a horse standing somewhere. If you go into your local field and find a horse, and if you see a horse standing there, sometimes a horse just stands there, and it's all like jiggling around like he's made of jello.
The reason I think we're on pretty safe ground saying it's the OG is that we saw test footage leak, and it looks pristine in a way that couldn't possibly otherwise, and also it's got the Wolfman and that weird appendage thing looking at each other, and that is something they changed because who's going to get this?
That's true.
And the Wolfman is a cheap mask. Yes, he is. That's the whole damn point.
Yeah. When those are those inserts that they shot in like Van Nuys, basically when they saw the Cantina footage. Oh, we gotta find whatever Hollywood monster costumes you can see on set and just film part of it.
And it's in there. I rember seeing it as a kid. Going,
it is in there.
Wolfman.
Yeah, this is one of the few times where like a leak has actually helped.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh no, they've leaked it and it's bad or something. No, actually the leak like having seen that footage leak, I'm now more excited for this official Star Wars release in February of 2027 than I would be if they just said it,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
I mean, I'll just be pointing at things that haven't changed. That's all because I've seen this approximately 7 billion times to begin with.
That's true. Let's hope theaters still exist in 2026.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Because if you hadn't heard the news, and this is a huge, massive deal, like $82 billion, literally $82 billion. Netflix is buying Warner Brothers and HBO. The reason this is because basically just like all of media is just merging into one giant amoeba of gray
garbage
crap.
Yep.
And which, when you look at the industry, where does Doctor Who fit into this? Where does the BBC Studios, in searching for a new international distribution partner, what do they do when they see Netflix just swallowing up stuff like this?
They got less options is what it boils down to.
Fewer options, you might say, Warren.
Yes, okay.
Fewer indeed. That's if it goes through, because there's so many regulatory levels and things that it'll have to clear first. But
and a corrupt American administration. Let's not forget about that.
That too. Yeah. Who probably were leaning on this, putting their thumb on the scale, hoping Paramount would get that Warner Brothers thing.
Because they love the Ellisons for some reason.
They do. And vice versa. Yeah.
But it's it's a doozy because Warner owns a lot of stuff.
Well, I mean, it's one of the most historic studios in Hollywood, as was Paramount. So here we are.
I mean, and Netflix famously does not like movie theaters. They just want you to
color.
They just want you to plop down in front of your TV or viewing device and just nonstop watch whatever Netflix throws at you. Which, I think Netflix did kick tires on Doctor Who, just like Paramount's kicked tires on Doctor Who, just like Amazon's kicked tires on Doctor Who, and it's the back catalog that they want. But if Netflix is buying up stuff, I don't need Doctor Who. It's just like another thing.
It's way down the list if it's even being considered.
Yeah, that's what I think. But, I mean, it does affect the industry. Does this now mean, like, if Netflix is buying up a whole studio in their back catalog, does this mean that other places would go, oh my god, what's left? Well, this Doctor Who thing, maybe we'll get that. Probably not. Who knows?
Forget about Doctor Who. Just if you're a creative in Hollywood, where it's really bad to begin with, from everything I've read, you just got one less place to pitch now. So, and there are two really, with Paramount kind of merging with Skydance. So it's just, your options are a lot less than they used to be. You could go off and be an influencer, which sounds like its own brand of hell, but
and I mean, the Netflix model of thing is just like, I don't like it. I
agree.
I don't like what they've done visually to what they even shows that are like, deemed to be prestige and presentable and everything. So Erica likes The Diplomat. I'm in the room sometimes when it happens. Looks like a competently made, well shot production in Britain, has people in it, gets lots of accolades. But I was sitting in the room when she was watching an episode recently, and I could tell that this is where Netflix came in and demanded a change, because there was a scene where one character's standing on at a railing or something, and there's like a photo album sitting there on the table, and another person comes up to her and he says, "Can I look at this photo album?" And they cut to her shot, and she just sort of like gestures to it, and they cut back to the other shot, and the guy looks at the other thing, and all of a sudden there's this crudely dubbed in, "Knock yourself out." And I could tell that somebody at Netflix said, listen, people are going to be looking at their phones during this, or not watching the screen, and won't see her just point to the book and say, sure, go ahead. So we need to put a line in to say, knock yourself out, so that people who aren't watching closely understand what's happening. This is what Netflix has done to things, and this is what I despise and fear for the future of everything that's being made. If basically things are being made to not necessarily, enthrall you, but to keep you occupied, basically, while you do other
Here's some
things.
slop, piggies. Enjoy your slop. I got rid of Netflix years ago because I would scroll down and go, the only show I watch is scrolling. Like, I can't find anything, so why am I paying for this?
Yeah, well,
that was at least 5 years ago.
There would be even more to scroll under this new setup, where there'd be a whole tab on there. There'd be a Warner Brothers tab, like there is a tab on Disney Plus for Hulu and everything else that they own.
Not in the Fry household.
No, not at all. Chris, do you have thoughts on Netflix and their output and their manner of making things?
I mean, we haven't had Netflix for many, many years, so I don't really think about them that much, to be honest.
Exactly.
I know they've done good things in the past. They've done bad things in the past, like bad decisions. I'm not saying like, they euthanized an African village, but there's, I don't know, anything could happen. And I think you're right. If they did go after, or there's less incentive for them to go after Doctor Who, despite its back catalog.
Yeah.
Given just the wealth of stuff they're going to get with
tons and tons.
Warner and Turner and all the other stuff that they'd be absorbing.
Well, and we haven't even gotten into how they're going to ruin that back catalog by making it new stuff. Like
IP,
they own DC
baby.
now.
Yeah.
DC, I mean, you guys didn't like Superman, but it seemed like a breath of fresh air compared to the, glorp fest that was Zack Snyder, who, by the way, has a deal with Netflix. So forget about that. Like maybe he won't be involved with that, but I'm just saying that kind of stuff gets made at Netflix. And so now they own Batman. And so Batman's going to have 15 different TV shows. Probably half of them about people who have nothing to do with Batman or tangentially have something to do with Batman. God only knows how much slop is going to fly out of there. To
be fair, we had, 3 seasons of Pennyworth?
Until you told me that, I forgot.
So I mean, you're projecting what Disney has done to Star Wars onto Netflix.
Oh no! They all do this. And Netflix is no less guilty than anybody else, but they've got way more resources now to do it, and a huge library to screw up, especially Superman. And if they go anywhere near Superman 1978, I'm going to murder people.
Yeah, and Netflix has been criticized, and rightly so, for a lot of their movie output, especially. Like you can tell they've determined the fine line between one more script rehash or to put it out as is, and see, like, where's the dividing line where people go, they will turn this off and be annoyed with it, or they'll just keep watching. And they found that magic line between clever and stupid, essentially, and ride it. And this is, they'll basically, I fear that the quality control of what is actually being made will be diminished because they have no incentive, since they own everything, to make anything better, because they're not competing, as I've seen people say, they're not competing with like Amazon or Disney or anything like that. They're competing with YouTube. They're competing with stuff that just people have on in the background, So yeah, this is the industry that which is why we bring this up. This is the industry that now BBC Studios has to find a co-production partner with to make Doctor Who.
Back to the CBC. Apparently. Come on, do it.
Do it. CBC is looking for money.
Thing.
Yeah.
The Canadian angle of this, Crave, which I also don't have, but Crave, most of what they have is HBO Max, and I think to a lesser extent Warner Bros. Stuff, but mostly HBO stuff. Well, they're screwed now. Like Netflix is going to, they own it. Why wouldn't they run it here? So that means our one streamer is, besides Gem, which is a different use case, is gone basically.
Yeah, and for Crave's faults, and Bell Media, it's Bell Media, right? Bell Media owns Crave.
Yes.
For their faults, they are at least, like, they have made a few Canadian originals, some of which have like Letterkenny's a bit of a hit.
Well, that hockey show, something, I can never remember the first name, something Rivals.
Heated Rivalry, which is
there we go. Yes.
It's
huge in the States.
It's huge in the States right now. And so like that, if Crave isn't around to like green light a lot of these Canadian shows, some of, I'm not a big watcher of them, but I will admit that I think Canadian television has improved over the last 30 or 40 years since we had it force fed to us on our 3-channel lineup in the 80s.
The flip side of that argument is I believe Schitt's Creek was on Netflix and it became a big hit down there because of that. So.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
After CBC showed it.
After CBC
showed it. Don't forget the glory that is Shoresy.
Shoresy's another one.
Goes.
Yeah.
I've watched Letterkenny. I've watched bits of Shoresy, and I'm like, I worked in these towns. I don't need to see any more of this. Like,
I know
they nail it. They absolutely get Canadian small towns, but I'm like, I don't need to live through this again.
Yeah, I don't watch them. I don't like them as much, but I appreciate that they are popular, and that's another thing. That's another thing that might go away with this whole thing. So there you go. This Netflix deal might take down the industry itself, make it worse, make it difficult for Canadians, just to give you a Canadian angle, and also make it harder for Doctor Who to find a potential production partner.
One flip side to that is, I wonder what Canadian governments are going to do or say if any mandates are going to get made about anything for Netflix showing stuff in
well, that didn't go well with
Canada.
the sales tax. So
Yeah.
Well, because I look at things like the so for those who aren't aware, on Facebook, for example, Facebook refused to pay newspapers, whatever, journalists for news stories that would get shared on Facebook, so they've just disallowed it.
Well,
So if you're in Canada, for the most part, you're just going to see this content cannot be viewed or whatever the message is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Canadian government was trying to play hardball, and Meta said, okay, well, we'll one-up you. So, because the Canadian government, through like CRTC and CanCon and all that kind of stuff, always tries to, or often tries to, force people to do things that they may not want to do that helps to benefit Canadians.
let me do a slight correction. You said paid journalist. As a journalist, no journalist is directly getting paid by Facebook. The Canadian government set up a fund which would then pay companies, which would then pay their journalists to keep this stuff afloat. So you're not wrong, but I wanted to just make it more specific.
Fair.
Fun times, baby. Fun times in the old industry. You're
Right. Or as I said to Stephen the other day, I was originally in TV and then I'm in journalism. And why is it journalism is the second dying industry that seems to be outliving the first dying industry?
It's so weird. I think the nosedive that the entertainment industry has had is much more pronounced. It's like, oh my God, look at this. You like
And
it. They passed
entertaining.
you. Yeah, they
Frankly.
passed you on the way down. Yeah.
Time to change tax, Warren, and go to healthcare. Yeah, it's
No, I don't think I'll do that. I'm going to get into foreign relations. That seems to be going great.
Yeah. That sounds perfect. Just
Canada-U.S. relations. That's where I'm going.
Yeah. I think I've said this in the past, but Doctor Who not being able to find a product, I don't know how long Doctor Who's going to be away from our screens, but if it wants to sit out while the industry settles itself out, maybe that's best. Maybe an extra year or two away to find an actual proper thing, as opposed to quick. We got to find somebody. We got to find a dance partner. Like now, maybe it's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all.
Well, I mean, look at the Disney deal, right? So that was done with the one Bob, and then the other Bob came back and didn't like the decisions made by the first Bob, which is not atypical and.
No, that's
big
standard Hollywood
companies.
nonsense, yeah.
So same thing there. I mean, the timing, anything BBC Studios or Bad Wolf or Doctor Who or BBC, whoever, anything they do, always going to have the thing in the back of your mind now with, is this good timing?
Yep. Yeppers.
Oh well, that's the anthem of the 2020s. Oh well.
So it's performed by Fleetwood Mac, which you can or cannot, depending on the edition of Spearhead from Space, here in the Doll Factory sequence. I did that pretty well, didn't I? I was pretty impressed.
That was a pretty good segue.
I was impressed by that. Speaking of Fleetwood Mac, nope. They were in LA once and probably had cocaine when they made Rumors. And anyway,
not probably. I mean, that's a given.
Neither of those will be at Gallifrey One in February. Joel Martin will be, though. Joel Martin was announced for Gallifrey One, which is awesome because, of course, she keeps the Doctor quotient intact because Paul McGann had to drop out, but Joel Martin now appears at Gallifrey One next February 6th to 8th. So there we go. She was announced. Tickets still available, of course, for Gallifrey One. More about Gallifrey One in the days and weeks to come. Season. Yes. Sorry.
I was going to say other Gallifrey One Doctor guest. We got some news for him.
Go on. I don't know what you're alluding to. So
is Peter Davison not announced for Galley?
Oh yeah, he is. He was already announced.
Yeah, there you go. So we're gonna talk about Peter Davison.
Oh,
now.
you stepped in my segue.
I see.
I stepped on your segue. I'm sorry.
Because
I think my coffee is kicking in a little too hard.
Quite all right.
He's gone to the dark road.
I'm full of Netflix fury, so I understand.
Season 21 was announced as the next in the Doctor Who collection range, coming out March 16th in the UK, which probably means June 2027 in North America. No, it doesn't. This has been kind of rumored, especially once when Pete McTighe made a little mini movie. Again, he's back to making those.
Those are so charming.
Probably for the last time, based on what's left and how many people are available, so to speak, to make these things. But they were shooting this on location in the same place that Resurrection of the Daleks was made near Shad Thames.
Butler Wharf. Which
Butler Wharf.
Jana Fielding even actually says in a little clip, but
that's right. Yeah.
This is being filmed the other week. We talked about it at the time, but we all assumed it was going to be for some of the VAM on the release, not the short video intro, because we thought those were gone.
Yeah. You've been to Butler Wharf, right, Chris?
Oh God, yeah.
Okay.
Many times.
So all three of us have, yeah.
Yeah, all three at different times. But yeah, Warren and I went there in 2015.
I can't see the picture of us there without hearing the Resurrection of the Daleks music.
Well, the great thing it is this thing is purely made for nerds like us.
Oh, absolutely.
Because all the music from Resurrection of the Daleks, and even a little bit of Planet of Fire is in there too, of course, because Mark Strickson appears as a hologram.
And that device that they pull out looks like the Trion logo, and I'm like, wait a minute, is that the? Oh, it is. Okay,
it is. Yeah.
My favorite part is where Tegan goes, "Oh, Turlo looks old." I'm like, "You're standing next to a guy who also looks old. Like, why isn't he taking any stick here?"
Yeah.
Well, doesn't he say to her something like, "You're
look at a mirror,"
or something?
Yeah. And I'm like, "That's a little rude. What the hell?"
It's Dr. and Tegan. That's how, or more accurately, it's Peter Davison and Janet Fielding.
Of course.
That
yes,
is just
absolutely.
their natural relationship.
The highlights of this set clearly are going to be the special edition of Warriors of the Deep.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, I'm sorely tempted to get it for that.
Oh yeah,
and the new making of documentary for the Twin Dilemma.
And Resurrection of the Daleks too in there. Yeah,
that's there, but I mean, Twin Dilemma, man.
Twin Dilemma, baby. Yeah, listen.
That's a commentary listener, is what that one is.
There's in the trailer itself. There's a brief bit of the new Merca, which looks pretty good. I admit I heard a while back that there was going to be a Warriors of the Deep special edition, so I've sort of been looking forward to seeing what it would kind of look like, and I think CG effects have improved where it looks like it fits in a little better, shall we say, to 40-year-old
We used all the
material.
Technology of Avatar to make a better pantomime horse, which I would be totally frankly.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got Rula Lenska on that behind the sofa, apparently.
That's true. Yeah.
Curious to see how that goes.
Oh yeah, there's a whole host of people. There's like Keith Jane, who played Will. Tara Ward, who is now an accomplished children's author, played Preston. She's on there too. Graham Harper's on there too. And of course, we're bearing the lead here. The Romulus and Remus, the Conrad twins are all over this thing on the behind the sofa, and also in the Twin Dilemma making of. There's a new audio commentary for The Awakening. I'm assuming Peter Davison is on that because it's the only one that he couldn't make for the original DVD run. So I imagine they probably got Davison on that to properly give him the complete run, so to speak.
This is worth it just for Resurrection and Androzani. Like, all the rest is a nice icing on the cake.
Yeah, right. I feel like Androzani is actually like a footnote when it comes to everything that's sort of like talked about on this, even though there's like 5.1 mixes for that, and
it's so good.
Updated effects for that as well. Yeah, I know. And where I was saying also the 5-ish Doctors reboot's going to be on here for crying out loud, which is I don't think it's ever seen a proper media release. I lose track of what comes out on Blu-ray.
No, I don't think it has.
No.
Same thing with the Earthshock for Tales of the TARDIS is on there as well.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's
pretty cool.
That's have we? Because I don't know what's on the UK stuff to know if like the Tales of the TARDIS for Pyramids was on like a UK Blu-ray release or not.
No, I don't think they've been. I don't think
series 1 or 2.
I don't think they've. Correct me if I'm wrong, dear listeners, but I don't think any of those Tales of the TARDIS were on like the season 2 Blu-ray set, which we haven't got yet in North America. So I think that might be the first time that is. But like, then what will they do with like Pyramids, since that's already come out obviously on season 12? So who knows? But
well, a special edition you watch inside the memory TARDIS.
Yeah, 10 discs. This sucker is 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get this. There's some gold in here.
There is some gold.
Also, I find it confusing. There's a 4-part re-edit of Warriors of the Deep, which is 4 parts. So okay.
I think, well, just because I think in special editions they've done occasionally have been like just movie length versions of it, but this is an actually 4-part redux. I don't think there's any missing footage. I don't think there's any
I mean, whatever, I'll still watch it.
Yeah, so like to put in or anything like that. So I'm intrigued by it. Yeah. My main question here, after reading all this and the fact that it's 10 discs, is will the case still be the same size as the rest of the cases around it?
Possibly.
How because weirdly the Trial of a Time Lord one is like, your basic disc length, whereas the McCoy ones are your standard sort of like bigger set, just like the season 22 is. So like, help us out here. Tell us what size of case it's going to be so we can properly plan our shelves.
One thing I love about the trailer for it is that they just go off in this tangent where Janet Fielding goes on about being married to an arms dealer or going out with him or whoever. Yeah, and apparently it's quite a big deal.
Sweet piece, yeah.
Yeah, there's Matthew Sweet.
Three Matthew Sweet pieces in this one.
Yeah, he's very good at this stuff. So
yeah, that's right. Waterhouse is one of them, right? Yeah,
Waterhouse, Mark Strickson, and Janet Fielding.
Yeah, and in the trailer they go, Janet's left. Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
He's done one with Janet Fielding previously, which is why they're talking about other non-Doctor Who stuff in this one, I guess.
Yeah.
But I can't remember if Mark or Matthew did.
Pretty sure
one of them. I don't know. I can't remember.
Nor can I. I'm going to imagine that Davison probably had his time in the chair, and for the season 19 set, which would have precluded Waterhouse to not be in there. I don't know who 20 was. Probably Janet Fielding, actually. Yeah. All good stuff. March 16th in the UK, as we said, and no idea yet for a North American release date. But hey, gives us something. I haven't had anything to check on Amazon for a while since the season 13 set was released for pre-order, as well as the Blake 7 set, which is coming next week. Oh, I mean next week, next week, not like what, the 13th, 12th. When is it coming?
Something like that.
Sometime
16th, I think, 16th. Is when my Amazon says it's 16th,
that's
so
right.
It could be coming earlier, but that's when I'm getting it. So.
Yeah, I'm looking forward
nice
to
birthday
that.
Gift. Thanks, Amazon.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, there we go. That's a coming. That's coming down the pipe. And at this count, there are only that's it for the 80s. The 80s are done. There are only 2 classic sets from the color era, shall we say, which is season 11 and 16. Yeah.
And 11,
that are yet to come out. And then, of course, there's 5 more black and whites that have yet to come out, which is astounding when I think about it.
Plus the Wilderness Years, if they do actually do that one.
And plus, if they decide they plow on into the modern series. It's been long enough, It's been long enough to do.
Yeah, but all that stuff has come out on Blu-ray before. I mean, I'm sure there's some rejiggering they can do to make it look that much nicer and whatever. But like I said previously, in watching the Eccleston stuff on Blu-ray, it looks really, really weird to have this SD stuff up-resed to HD, and then my player up-reses from HD to 4K.
Yeah.
And it's all very unnecessary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a little worried about. I mean, there's people who have been sort of posting about the season 13 set and the season 21 set. It looks a little AI up-resy a little bit in some things. I mean, people
13 for sure.
People pointed out, but I don't see it in full motion. Only when you hit pause does it sort of look bad. But
I've been watching Blake 7 the first season just to get it, because I kind of want to watch an episode a night before I get the next one. And my PlayStation 5, which is the only thing I have that plays DVDs in this place, has been trying to throw some motion smoothing in there, and I'm like, no, not today. You are not doing that, PlayStation 5. I noticed it because I was on Duel, and it's all film stuff in this, where they're talking to the crazy old lady and the other lady, and I'm like, wait, this looks a little too tapey for something that isn't tape. Absolutely not.
Well, it is on tape. That's those scenes that you're talking about.
But some of that stuff's on film, and the stuff that was on film did not look like film. So I had to go in there and change. And the stuff that was on tape looked very, very, very on tape. And I was like, and it was, in fact, sneaky motion smoothing on my PlayStation 5's part. So
I didn't know they did that. Oh, my God. That's terrifying.
Unacceptable.
Terrifying. Everyone's trying to make everything worse, Warren. Why is that, for God's sake?
What, have I got an answer for this? No. What have I been thinking about since 2016? That very question.
I know.
And poking around the bonus stuff on seasons 19 and 20, only Peter Davison has a thing with Matthew Sweet that I can see.
Okay. I wonder who was on it for season 20. Can't remember now.
There may not have been one, because I'm like, just when I search the whospecialfeatures.fandom.com. There's no listing for Sweet whatsoever when I search his name.
What?
So
That's very Tom Baker of you. What?
I know, it was intentional.
which means I might be wrong about Janet Fielding having done one previously, unless she did one for season 18, which
No,
maybe I can't
that
remember.
would have been that. No,
I can't remember.
I don't remember. There's been a lot of them, and it's starting to blow together. Listen, the next time I do a pilgrimage, and you know it's coming, I will make note of all the Blu-ray extras that are on it. I won't. I'll just wait for Paul Smith of Wonderful Books to put out an updated version of his DVD compendium, which is available for free on the Wonderful Books website, and it is great for all the classic Doctor Who DVD releases, trying to find what features came out on what. Well done, Paul. Yeah.
And for season 18, Matthew Sweet's on a couple of commentaries, Leisure Hive, State of Decay, but no actual separate giant interview thing, apparently.
Interesting.
Or his name isn't listed in the summary. That's possible too.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited, and sound like Warren is too. Sometimes I feel like us talking about it on this show actually turns Warren, who's not anti box set, but just anti collector kind of gene into.
I don't feel like spending a pile of money either, but sometimes I will.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm surprised that none of us have talked about the presence of Caves of Androzani on the set, of course, but it's there.
No, whatever.
Well, I just mentioned it a while back, but I just said, it's kind of the showcase. That and Resurrection are the two grabbers for me, but everything else is nice icing on the cake.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the whole thing. The whole dang thing, baby.
Awakening.
Yeah.
The Awakening is like I remember the least about the Awakening because I've seen it the fewest times
Same
of
here,
any Peter Davison story somehow. So I look forward to that one just to see if I, still, whatever I think about it.
Right. Mm-hmm. I remember watching the van for The Awakening, and there's a glass shot in there, which I never, ever knew about until I saw it on that making of DVD and said, what? That was a glass shot? It was on location. They added basically the top of the church basically was a glass shot on location.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's another one that motion smoothing would ruin because there's a lot of stuff on film for that one, as I recall.
Yeah. Awakening has a lot of film. I think they kind of looked at it as a 6-part serial, basically, with Warriors of the Deep taking all the studio footage and The Awakening taking a good chunk of the film stuff. And of course, back in the day when it was running on KSPS here in Edmonton, it was like, hey, you enjoyed that one story? Well, guess what? We got a short one here for you too. A little teaser. We'll have a little.
Stay up till 3 a.m. Come on, do it.
Loved it. That's why I loved it. It was like bonus 2-part story of Doctor Who. Pretty neat. I thought it was neat. Anyway, all that's coming March 16th in the UK and later elsewhere. A couple of things from Doctor Who magazine came out this past week. Doctor Who magazine 624 came out, which has a big preview of the War Between the Land and the Sea. Also, the Units special, the Unit Declassified thing came out the same day, which also has a big preview of the War Between the Land and the Sea, as well as a whole bunch of history of Unit and everything else. That's what it does. Russell T Davies returns for the producer, the production note things in there, because of course he's writing the Christmas special, which he claims, of course, in that interview that we talked about last week, that he hasn't written the script yet, but he knows exactly what happens. Well, he's written enough of the script that he knows 3 words that appear in the 2026 special, which is Bafflers, Winternox, and Village.
Well.
What could it mean?
Who knows?
No.
Disappointment. That's what it's going to mean.
Probably. Yeah. Your indifference to War Between is kind of like mine towards the 2026 Christmas special.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little early on that one, but yeah.
Which they haven't written or shot.
Yeah, it's not fair, to be fair. And it's not even fair with War Between, to be honest. It could be great for all I know. I guess I'll know tomorrow. But
I guess you will know tomorrow, Warren, yeah. Anyway, all that and more in Doctor Who magazine and the Doctor Who Unit Classified. Speaking of VAM, here's a curious thing. On December 23rd on BBC 4, they are airing Ines Lloyd, the producer, the documentary that appeared on the Savages animated Blu-ray set that came out. Really good documentary about Ines Lloyd. It's it's a centenary, basically. He was born December 24th, 1925. So it's a centenary of Ines Lloyd. He, of course, was producer of Doctor Who through the season 3 into season 4 and a bit into season 5 of Doctor Who. helped to basically push regeneration across the line in Doctor Who. Also was an early adopter of OB video, baby. So there's a whole bunch of OB video stuff in that documentary, which I found fascinating. Anyway, that's also because it's like a 75-minute doc or something like that. It's preceded by
90 minutes.
90. It says 90 minutes on the thing. I think the documentary itself isn't quite as long, but maybe it is though, because it says it's an hour and 29. It's being preceded by one of the last Doctor Who episodes that Indus Lloyd produced, which was episode 1, all caps, of The Ice Warriors. A lot of people were like, oh, could be a missing episode of The Ice Warriors. Not a missing episode of The Ice Warriors. I'm sorry.
We had it lying around.
Yeah, Ice Warriors Part 1. So there you go.
It's never made any sense to me to try and figure out why the BBC throws stuff up. They just do. We got this. Here it is.
Yeah, there you go. How about watch one episode of the thing that's missing most? Well, the next 2 episodes are missing, but there you go. Have a time. Enjoy. So there you go. If you haven't seen the Ice Warriors episode 1 or the Indus Lloyd doc and you have BBC 4, well, December 23rd is your time.
I'm just curious about the stuff on the BBC site for Ice Warriors.
Okay.
Because on the right-hand side under more episodes, it says the next episode is Tomb of the Cybermen, episode 2. So we have 4 of the 6 Ice Warriors episodes that exist.
Right.
And all of Tomb, but for some reason, BBC skips from Ice Warriors 1 to Tomb episode 2.
That is odd.
So I'm assuming this is stuff that's been broadcast, but episode 1 of Tomb has been broadcast.
I know, yeah. I clicked the link for episode Tomb 2, which of course precedes the Ice Warriors, and it just says it was broadcast in September of 1967. So that's weird. That's a weird thing. I'll say it. That's very strange.
It is very odd.
I don't know.
But whatever. Like I said, don't bother trying to figure it out.
Nope. Do not understand that.
There's a reason, we just don't know what it is.
Nope. Maybe they found Tomb. That's probably it. They found it again.
In the exact same TV station in Hong Kong as last time.
Hong Kong. It's still there. I know.
Except they found an already vid-fired Blu-ray copy.
Nice. Oh, what a mystery. Maybe a time traveler brought it back.
Where did this come from? Exactly. It was me. It was me who discovered time travel, and I only just
Instead of saving missing episodes, you're planting new restored episodes in the past.
Exactly.
Why does it make any sense? You're right. It doesn't.
What's wrong with me? Rachel Talalay's back on her awesome YouTube channel. How I filmed this. She goes in depth, almost 14 minutes into how she did one shot in the Star Beast.
Mentally exhausting.
Yeah,
in a good way.
It's the one in the street where there's a battle and the camera sort of cranes up and then moves over, and you can see on the roof of the attic about how Doctor Who and his friends are moving through this attic, and you can see it sort of through a window. And it was in the original script like that, and so that's why they were basically says, well, we got to do this because it's in the script. And boy, howdy, Rachel Talalay, hats off to you and to all directors out there, because God, what
insane amount of work for one shot. And this is just, to be fair to Doctor Who, is a middling TV show in terms of ambition in some ways, as opposed to Avatar or some huge Hollywood production, or even some tiny thing where they haven't got any money. Every single person at every level has to deal with so much grief. I was just like, the main takeaway for me is, thank God I'm not doing this.
Yeah. From everything from not only the shot, but just the other logistics. Okay, we got to find a street in Cardiff where literally everyone who lives on the street is okay with them shooting for several nights, because they shot in June, so therefore nighttime filming is only 4 or 5 hours over the night, because the sun will rise and set. And so we got to find that. And are you okay? And they have to be okay with turning all your lights off or on whenever we need it. And
having their vehicles removed.
Yeah. Parking in the UK is, it's not the sprawling prairie wasteland that Alberta is. You can't just park, finding parking lots is difficult. So just the sheer logistics of making TV is just oh God, I appreciate
exhausting.
It's exhausting, man.
Well, it's really interesting to see all the constraints at play.
Yeah.
And how they have to play off each other. So waiting for clear enough skies, and the Earth Warriors can only be on their stilt things for so long before they have to get out and because they're tired or whatever. And it has to be at nighttime, and the drone shot they're using has to work out in a certain way, and just all this confluence of things that you may not even realize is at play, but it has such an effect.
Well, another thing she mentioned is how they had previs for this because I was part of the package. It didn't seem like I don't think she uses it from what I'm just gathering from what she said, that she'd never used previs before, or at least she hadn't for Doctor Who before. And in fact, she does say that. I didn't use this before, but it was part of the package, so we had to use it. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like you were thrilled with previs, to be honest with me. But
yeah, maybe.
But I mean, it's a tool, and I'm sure they used it properly. So
yeah, I mean, things changed in between 2017 and 2022, I guess, when she made this and when she was last working on Doctor Who, I guess. But I mean, it's no secret we're big fans of Rachel Talalay on this podcast, course, so we will always shout out her efforts on her awesome YouTube channel, which is springing back to life. I like how she had several shots of the many different hard drives lying around her place that has all this footage in that she needs to get so much. I was going to also say, it's a shame, Warren, that you don't have the obsessive gene that perhaps some of us have. Otherwise, like, you're in Vancouver, get a job for 6 weeks or months or something. And just
if she wants to hire me over December, here we go. I'm job interviewing myself.
There you go.
Rachel Talalay, if you'd like me to help you with your archives, I'm more than happy to do it.
Okay, there we go. Drop her a line. Says, would you like, Warren could use the money and also look through old hard drives of a whole bunch of stuff.
And I'm not obsessive like you guys, but that's probably a plus. Means I can prioritize instead of going down rabbit holes.
That's
which she said she does when she does these things,
right? And
which makes sense. I mean, obviously, if you worked on these things,
exactly. She'll have her own level of nostalgia. To this or that.
Yeah. I bet that'd be fun. I'll take a leave of absence. Maybe maybe this summer. If she hasn't found someone by then, okay, drive out to Vancouver. Let's go do some real proper.
Taking a leave of absence from your own freelance job. Okay,
that's right. I could just go there. Warren, I'm standing.
You don't need to fill out a form or anything. You just do it.
That's true.
Stay on my couch. There you go. If you want to do this that bad, I'm more than happy to help.
Okay.
Why are we airing all this dirty laundry?
Why is this? Why are we planning stuff? Yeah. All right. Next in the news, there's another Doctor Who Humble Bundle. It's the same Humble Bundle. It's a Humble Bundle encore of a whole bunch of different comics over the years in one giant bundle. It all goes to support BBC Children in Need. So some of these have already appeared in past Humble Bundles, but the cause is worthy. So links in the show notes if you want to get a whole bunch. So you can pay what you want, up to $50 to get like $1,300 of content, which is amazing when it comes to all these comic books. So there's a 65 item bundle, a 19 item bundle, and a 4 item bundle, depending on what you want to donate, all to a good cause, as I say, BBC Children in Need. So I nearly said BBC Children of Earth right there, but that's not the thing you donate to. So links in the show notes, or go to humblebundle.com. Time to overanalyze some Big Finish artwork from stuff that is out now from Big Finish. Dare You by Lisa McMullen is now out. The Christopher Eccleston, Billy Piper audio jaunt. What's on the cover there, fellas? What do you want to look at there? There's
the Master's grandfather clock.
Oh, yeah, I hadn't noticed that because I was too distracted by what looks like the mean older brother of the goblins, this guy here.
Oh, he does too, yeah. It looks kind of like the goblin from the Goblin King guys, but not,
Yeah, sort of. That's about all I got about this guy. And some Gallifreyan writing in the background, as per usual.
I mean, is that the Master's grandfather clock TARDIS, or is it the grandfather clock from Ghost Light?
Or is that goblin the master in between forms?
Or is it just a grandfather clock?
Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Is that the planet Earth, or is it Mondas upside down?
Both.
All these questions and more are answered in Dare You by Big Finish, out now.
Or maybe none of them are.
I don't think that question is answered.
I don't think so at all. Also out the Christmas It's a Wonderful War and Other Stories, which features a Dalek on the cover amidst a wasteland with stuff in the background and Christmas trees as well. So there.
I do like the bejeweled red and green themed
they are
Dalek.
I agree.
It looks kind of funky.
Oh, look at that. That's kind of cool. Oh.
Nothing's as festive like an insane killing machine.
Get on that. Character options for next Christmas or something. Have a Christmas Dalek for your...
Come on. What are we even doing here if you don't have a Christmas Dalek?
They put out enough Daleks. Just tint a couple of them. The little baubles on there.
By the way, if this was the show, this would be exactly the kind of thing we'd be criticizing. Oh, what are they doing? Making a Christmas...
That's true.
Since it's in Big Finish and on a cover, we're like, oh, this is lovely and charming.
Exactly. It's
Hypocrites.
That's out now too, also from Big Finish. A couple things to get a heads up about. It's coming in the holiday season. We might talk about it closer to the day, but our friend Toby Haydock is back on the BBC Radio 4 Extra with Absent Friends 2025, the Seventh Dimension 2-part thing. 15 minutes a piece on the 27th, 28th, basically chronicling all the people that sadly we've lost over this past year who have been had indelible contributions, as the script says, to UK horror, science fiction, and fantasy, who sadly died this year. So there you go. Always look forward to hearing that stuff from Toby Haydock. So that's coming over the holiday season.
I haven't seen him say anything about doing his traditional YouTube.
He will.
In memoriam video, but I imagine that's probably on the horizon as well.
Will. Yeah, he does that too. So yeah, very busy fellow. Very busy fellow is Toby Haydock. Just as we've been busy talking about Doctor Who for the last hour. Hopefully this will be the last 2-hour episode of Radio Free Skaro for the near future, but no promises. Anyway, as we said at the outset, we'll be back on Wednesday probably for our review of the first 2 episodes of The War Between the Land and the Sea. But until then, watch, why not? But listen to our review of the previous 5-part spin-off of Doctor Who that's received considerable acclaim in 2009. It's Torchwood, Children of Earth, Day 5. It is the finale of our Torchwood, Children of Earth revisitation of the 5-part miniseries that aired across 5 nights in early July 2009. Having watched it all in 1 week, expecting less, but receiving much, much more back then, we have decided to watch them all again here in the year of our Time Lord, 2025, in advance of The War Between the Land and the Sea, another 5-part series. Which will it hit the same way? I don't think so, because nothing could.
Who knows?
Nothing could. Part 5, written by Russell T Davies alone, directed by Euros Lyn, and sees the entire 5-day arc coming to a happy-go-lucky
Here's the thing about The War Between the Land and the Sea, though. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but we did have a very goofy second season of Torchwood, or comparatively speaking, and then we were very surprised by Children of Earth. So maybe a very goofy second season of Doctor Who followed by could happen, where he gets all his darkness out and War Between the Land and the Sea, surprisingly enough.
Maybe he does.
Although Disney is footing the bill, so maybe not.
Why not? What Disney is
partly footing the bill.
Partly footing the bill. Yeah, I think they're numbering the pages in the contract that is winding it down. Essentially, is what's going on there. What an interesting analogy there, Warren. I'm curious if because patterns obviously
do right.
Well, patterns exist, and we want them to exist. So therefore, it's what's going to happen with The War Between.
And then I'll be angry because it didn't do what I wanted.
How dare they not cast the actor I wanted in
Why aren't you reading my mind, TV show? Come on.
Stupid thing. Oddly enough, I remembered how I didn't remember how it ended. I remember what happened when it did end. I remember Captain Jack sacrificing his grandson, but
that I remember too.
And I remember John Frobisher killing his children, wife, and then himself in a dark scene. But that's it for plot points. I didn't remember anything else going into this whole thing. But
those are the 2 big ones, I would say.
It's pretty big. And I feel like I didn't. Erica was like, she was a mess for about half an hour after watching this with me.
It's pretty bleak, man.
It was bleak. I think I was expecting the bleakness, and so therefore I think that cushioned the blow. I think episode 4...
is it more bleak or not? I was trying rolling that around in my head. I think it's kind of equally a little bit differently bleak.
Yeah, it's differently bleak, but I guess maybe I was already my soul was already killed by episode 4.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
That episode 5 just kind of felt like just ended. It was good. Do not get me wrong.
Oh no, it was excellent.
It is absolutely a superb, well told ending to an RTD story, which in and of itself is super rare. Yeah.
I love it when RTD, like, he's better at this than Moffat is, being super dark and in ways that kind of like pierce the heart of what humans are really like.
Yeah.
Like, there's a part in Turn Left where I can't remember what the exact line is, but Donna's mom says something super bleak, and you're like, you don't normally see that. And RTD, when he does that right, he does it so well. And this whole thing is that, basically.
Yeah, RTD, when he focuses his cynicism, it's makes for really, really great drama,
Yeah,
I think. Yeah,
exactly.
Chris, what are your overarching thoughts with part 5 of this?
It's done.
He's like Frodo, it's done, it's over. And he's just covered in soot and ash. And he's,
should have taken the Eagles straight there to the end.
Yeah.
oh, shut up. Why don't you install Linux while you're at it, you dork? Watch. I'm sorry, Linux heads. Please don't email me.
If they did, they'd be doing their own.
Yeah, I'm sure they would.
Own
Great.
built email
That's true.
client.
Yeah.
What I don't know what you can say.
Right.
There is honestly a bit of a sense of relief that it's over.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
It's like, okay, the darkness. It's dark. It's there.
Very dark. Very dark. Yep. The darkest thing ever made in the Doctor Who universe, ever. I don't think anything should be darker than this in the Doctor Who universe.
Anything on an ongoing basis, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's, as Warren said, some darkness and Turn Left and Midnight, things like that, but
Bits and pieces be true, yeah.
but nothing
Which
like
is how it
this.
should be in Doctor Who. Like, you shouldn't have the whole thing be this oppressive.
One thing I wish I remembered was how I felt after watching Day 5 in 2009. Because back then, as has been said 1,000 times, we watched it every day, 5 days in a row, which that's a lot in a week. For this revisiting, we've done it over the span of 2.5-3 weeks,
About
something
that,
like that.
Yeah.
So we've had time to let things breathe. I've had time to watch the episode for, just to watch it and then to, make notes about it. So I've watched each of them twice as a result that I'm pretty sure I did not get the chance to do back in 2009, at least not before we talked about it. But in a way, I don't want to say I'm glad for the darkness that continued in Day 5. It's appropriate that it persisted. You can't just wake up and have a happy ending, and the ending we get is definitely not a happy ending.
No. I mean, they win, in quotes.
Yeah, and as RTD says in the Declassified, I mean, this is the only way it could end, and I think I agree with him.
I think I'm going to go back to what I said for the last episode, which is that 2009 was a much different time in the real world. So watching 5 days of this, while oppressive and, a real mood killer in a good way, wasn't quite the same as if we'd watched 5 days of this now with the never-ending torrent of nonsense that we also have to put up with. Yeah. So I'm glad we spaced it out this time.
Well, we've talked about the, from Day 4 and into Day 5, really, because it continues. The whole vaccination inoculation thing.
Yeah.
That plays a whole hell of a lot differently now than it would have done in 2009. Things like, armed troops for army, whatever unit, whoever it is, just rolling up to schools and stealing
grabbing
kids
people off the street. I'm like, well,
and
what could that possibly be reminding me of?
Yeah, I mean, again, that's not that that's ever. I was gonna say not that that's a good thing, because of course it's not. But like, that's these days with what we're seeing in a certain country to the south of us. That also hits really differently.
Yeah,
than it
a
would
little
have
closer to home than it did before.
Because I mean, you think of stuff like that, and so it's always stuff like, oh, that happens somewhere else, or that was Nazi Germany, or that was whatever. But
and we're Canadian, so knock on wood, it will continue to be somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if this was made in like 2025, there would have been like a conspiracy theorist in Children of Earth who thought, no, man, it's not inoculations, man. It's the government.
Which would have totally taken away from it.
Well,
yeah.
And there's also other factors like you've got the prime minister and whatever, cabinet people and whoever else, but you've got the UK government there. Never once has it said if they're Tory or Labour or whatever.
No, just bad.
But does it matter? No, not necessarily. Like, it's more details might be out by the time this goes out. But as we record this, there was just an announcement a couple days ago or so of a new Stephen Moffat show called Number 10.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And in the Hollywood Reporter article I read, it goes out of its way to say. The show goes out of its way to say that it's just the UK government. It's never revealed what party. So you can't put any weight on, left versus right or any political aspects like that. It's just, they're just the government.
And one thing I noticed is that in episode 4, they're all having the moral argument and trying to jockey for position to get their kids saved, et cetera, et cetera. And this one, it's his business. Like, we're doing this now. We're kidnapping children. Yep. On with it. Get on with the job.
Yeah. I maybe I'm jumping the gun by bringing this up, but it kind of goes with what you said, Warren. The kids of all the people in the room in day 4 were supposed to be safe. And of course, Frobisher gets called into the PM's office to say, your name was picked. Your kids are going to be inoculated.
Made an example of,
of all the people, because he's on the front line. His relatively meager position in the government means that he won't be, he can be replaced if he doesn't want to do this.
To borrow a sort of line from Return of the Jedi, your betrayal is now complete.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, and it's just like, man, I'd forgotten that actually happened as early as it did in the episode. And of course the tragedy is that, like, within a couple hours they solve the situation, like they actually solve it, and he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to kill his family.
Again, solve in quotes.
Yeah.
I made a note about that, which I will probably get into in a little more detail in a bit, but toward the end of the episode, when the 456 ambassador is vanquished, as I wrote, there's a clock showing 3:14 p.m.
Oh.
And all we know for Frobisher is it was sometime between 11 and 12.
Yeah, so like within hours, It's like hearing like tales about like the soldiers that were killed after the November 11th armistice in 1918, It's like...
Or the greatest example of all, Juneteenth. It took 2 years for people to be told slavery was done in the States.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's unheard of in these times, but
it was. And the way they did that scene was, it was played out basically silently with what's her name going to see Lois Abiba in jail and telling him how he was such a good man, and like just telling his like intercutting that with the slow walk, knowing what he's going to do. Like, what you didn't even
and then almost every time Bridget mentions Frobisher, she always uses the past tense as well.
Yeah,
because
she knew it was going to happen. Like, she got
the gun from.
They both know what Requisition 31 means, and even if the audience doesn't know, their reaction to what it is,
it's bad.
Know it's bad. And it was the week before. What was it? Episode 3, I think, was really the tour de force for Frobisher and thus Peter Capaldi. And last week, and then this, and these 3 days basically in the history of the Doctor Who universe is why I was just like
miserable.
No, I was like in 2013, I think I'd please have Peter Capaldi be the next Doctor, because
I see.
He's such a good actor, and he just completely compelled me in this.
The anger and the fear on his face and in his eyes when he's talking to the PM, and then he leaves the office and walks 6-8 feet and just stops.
Yeah.
And everything is just replaced by fear.
This is just editing. It's not his acting. But when you hear the 3 gunshots and then there's a kind of a long pause So you know that he's in there looking at what he just did, thinking about it, and then plugging himself.
Yeah.
Like that's harsh, man.
It was supremely as well written as you can get for such a scene, and well directed and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah, so to kind of set the stage, I don't care. I'm just going to go to my note for that.
Oh, of course,
now.
yeah.
Let's do it.
So Frobisher, seeing his family in Lily's room, walks in, closes the door. Camera starts pulling back. 3 bangs, short delay, 4th bang. So he's shooting his family and then himself, which is dark for so many reasons. Not the least of which is the fact, as you pointed out, Stephen, the crisis ends within a few hours afterward. Not that he had any way of knowing.
No one knew.
Was happen,
no one at that point. Not even Torchwood knew. Not even our heroes knew that was going to be a thing. Yeah. It would have been even worse if it was like intercut with, we got an opportunity to save this and everything. No, we didn't. Like everyone was down, and that's sort of like the lowest. Like that's the lowest of the low. And then at that point, the army comes and takes the kids, and they film, Gwen's home movie to which explicitly mentions the doctor. Is it the only time that we actually hear the doctor in
I think so.
Torchwood? Maybe they mentioned
that's a great bookend, by the way.
Torchwood?
Yeah, her whole
100% no.
And I mean, in
this
Children of Earth,
named, yes, I think, but referred to before, yes, but I don't think they actually say the doctor.
The doctor.
Until now,
I think this is
which is what makes it so effective, and I think it's a great bookend too.
Yeah,
having that crappy video look at the start. I think it works best if Gwen does it. I mean, there's nobody left other than her, but I think she's the best character to do it.
And I love that they didn't 12 hours earlier, like a stupid flash forward kind of thing, which I loathe. It's such an overdone thing now, and I grow so tired of it.
That would ruin the storytelling if they did it here.
Yeah.
And it was starting to kind of come into its own back then, so I'm surprised they didn't.
Yeah, I know. Restraint. This whole thing, this whole exercise has been about restraint, about not telling everything right up front and letting the audience figure it out. And yeah, the whole 5 episodes have been just an exercise of proper television making and restraint.
Not a word I thought I'd say about current RTD with restraint.
No.
Different time, different show, different world.
Yeah.
Is I guess. Younger man, though, you would just think that an older RTD, especially, with so much more cynicism to come.
Well, and he has
RTD.
like years and years is full of cynicism. I'm sure other stuff is too.
I know.
I haven't seen the other stuff, but I'm sure it is.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was you saying last time, Warren, in that it's like he got all of his cynicism out with all the other stuff that he made after this, essentially.
And I shouldn't crap on him too hard. If he wants, and he's the showrunner, to make a optimistic, fun, big deal Doctor Who, then that's his call. I don't have to like it, but it's his call.
Right.
As the old saying goes that I've just made up, how much angst could Trent Reznor have?
Oh, tons. He's got so much left in reserve.
That's true. He's got a Marshall stack full of angst.
People have limits to things, is what I'm getting at.
Maybe there is. Anyway, John Frobisher, Peter Capaldi. It's interesting how quickly they sort of, we wanted Peter Capaldi. We weren't sure about him initially, and they declassified that's on the Blu-ray. By the way, glad I waited until the end, because I thought it was going to be all 5 parts or something, but it's a 35-minute thing. And now, was that the way they did it back in 2009? Because for some reason, I have a memory.
I don't remember.
I have a memory of watching them after each episode, and I could be just misremembering that, but the version on the Blu-ray is the compilation, so to speak, and they talk about everything in it. As if you've seen it at all.
Best I can say is, because as we were talking about before recording, Torchwood Declassified is not on iPlayer, despite effectively everything else being there, including Confidential, totally Doctor Who,
Doctor Who,
stuff like that, but no Torchwood Declassified.
No.
On the BBC website, if you go to the list of episodes for Declassified, it only shows series 1 and 2. There's no mention of 3. And I know there is some stuff from like kind of EPK stuff for Miracle Day.
Yeah,
but I can't remember if it was like 10 of them or what at this point.
Good question. Yeah, don't remember that either, actually, but. Anyway, it was interesting to seeing how little they mentioned Peter Capaldi and in that declassified, knowing what was to come, as we did 4 years after that. But of course, the other big thing is, there was basically two big things in it. Captain Jack finds a way to I do like that Johnson really turns. She turns towards the good guys at this point. And sort of is convinced by Gwen and everything else that she's working for the enemy and everything. I like how she just casually turns and shoots
Decker had it coming. What a scumbag. He's almost gleeful to see this stuff happening.
That kid's gonna fry,
Well, that was after he got shot. But, so according to the episode list on IMDb, take that for what you will these days, only 1 declassified for Children of Earth and 2 for Miracle Day.
Interesting.
So I guess basically, yes, it was the single 32-minute whatever one shot for this.
Wow. I'm going to have to dig out my old DVD copy of this and see what they have on there just for completionist's sake.
Yeah, I can't remember because as we were talking about before recording, the declassified on the Blu-ray has actual music, actual cleared songs.
Yeah,
which
is surprising.
That surprised all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And on the Doctor Who DVDs back in the day, there was generally the confidential cut down, which amongst other things removed all the actual mainstream music.
Mm-hmm.
So don't know. I don't know.
Where's my sugar cubes? Damn it!
Yeah,
because I only ever bought season 1 of Torchwood on DVD, which is sitting on a shelf someplace. But yeah, you let us know.
I will. It's in a bin somewhere because the Blu-rays now have taken precedence. But anyway, what else? What else should we talk about here? Should we? Jumping to the big thing at the end is jumping to the big thing at the end. But is there other stuff that sort of happens? I think we sort of it's all just sort of building up to 2 main things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is. I can dive into my notes if we want.
Yeah, the
why
kids
not?
hiding, but they're hoarding. Hoarding is the wrong word, but they're sheltering the children.
Yeah,
and then that's kind of I don't want to say it is part of the plot, but it just seems almost superfluous compared to what else is going on here.
But you did have to it was important to see.
Yeah, you have to show it, of course.
Yeah,
yes.
And also the one little girl who gets picked up by the soldier as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's there just to show that not everybody that Gwen and the rest of them tried to save were saved.
They did. I mean, they eventually got to them at the end there, and then Andy throws off his police uniform and joins in and fights the army as well. And
that was good.
Thankfully, before it escalates even further, the kids start screaming again because they've been turned against the 4, 5, 6.
Creepy as hell.
Yeah, a little bit. Again, Shimmeron from Delta and the Bannerman vibes from that, but. And of course, the one child is Stephen. The moments leading up to that, it's Decker's pure awfulness who says that kid's gonna fry, just to give you an indication of what needs to be done. I love how they sort of just slowly zoom in on Jack, and then Alice is going, "Dad, no, what? Dad, no," and we keep zooming in, and finally when Jack realizes, because Johnson has said we don't have much time, we don't have any time, Jack knows what the answer is going to be, and I love that Barrymore just a subtle nod and just look downwards, and that's it, and that's the order.
And his eyes all glossy with impending tears.
He didn't say get the kid or get him. Yeah, let's do it. Anything like that. Just the subtlest of nods. I thought that was really good.
Or even something like turning to Alice and saying, "I'm sorry," or something like that.
Yeah. And that's nothing. He's just well, this is what's happening now.
Actions speak louder than words in this case.
And he doesn't say a thing. He doesn't say a thing.
Nope.
I think pretty much for the entire rest of the episode until he's ready to return to his home planet, so to speak, at the very, very end.
I was happy to see him go. I'm I think when 13 meets him in the prison, she should just sock him across the face for this, because this is not good. Yeah. When she says it's not your fault, and he's like, "Yeah, it is." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right, it is." You should really feel bad about this a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, though, Chris, to your notes as discussion points. Let's see where we're at here.
Yeah, day 5, 6.58 million viewers.
Stats.
AI of 90, and
golly,
12th place for the week.
Madness.
So, just for fun, I went back and looked at each of the 5 days, just for their overall ranking for the week. Day 4, 11th. Day 5, 12th. Day 1, 13th. Day 3, 14th. Day 2, 17th.
Wow.
So didn't hit the top 10, but they got half of the next 10.
Again.
And 2 is the happiest, quote unquote, of the bunch.
Yeah. Again, 9 p.m. Post watershed. This thing was
Middle of summer.
Not to be seen. AI, I mean, I don't know if you looked at the AI, but this one was 90%. Like the last one was 91%. Yeah.
It was BBC One, right?
Yeah,
It wasn't
BBC One.
BBC 2 or 3.
BBC One.
Okay.
That's like Journey's End. That's like Journey's End AI 5 nights a week. That's how So it's not us speaking up for the underdog, but I do feel like this whole series is mildly forgotten in the wake of everything.
Well, if it wasn't for that sort of success, we wouldn't have Miracle Day, which goes without saying. But I was thinking earlier that for the longest time, for the longest time, Torchwood was just the BBC, no other entities, and then they went to the co-production with an American partner, and then the show died.
Hey, what parallels can we possibly draw from that?
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going.
Yeah.
I hope those parallels don't exist.
We've had 3 separate BBC American co-productions result in one thing or 2 being broadcast, and then a break of infinite distance being the TV movie, being Miracle Day, being Disney Doctor Who. So
the flip side to that is, seasons 1 and 2 anyway were CBC co-productions, and then BBC America kind of had their time in the sun in the early 2010s.
All right, fair enough. Okay, so my theory holds no water whatsoever.
A little bit.
So
I see the parallels.
Who knows what to expect?
Yeah.
One big thing right off the bat that we haven't yet talked about. 4, 5, 6 are using the children as drugs.
That is creepy as hell.
Chemicals are good.
Not even.
And he's just very open about it. He's like, "Oh, I like the hit. I like shooting up with kids."
Just says the hit. It's not like we need your kids to survive. It's nothing like that. Which immediately eliminates. Okay, what if we negotiated? If this was Doctor Who, the 4, 5, 6 would we need the kids to survive. And then the doctor says, "Oh, let's find a solution," and they'd somehow find a solution, and then they go up there and they'd solve it, and they'd go away, and everyone would be happy.
But what a perfect time for the mandrills to return,
right?
Yeah,
the mandrills.
I mean, maybe this thing is a mandrill. Kind of looks a little bit like it.
Can we get you hooked on? Can we switch you over to Vraxoan at all? I know a good source of it. It's the Empress. It's hovering around in hyperspace right now. But you're right. Drugs. They make it drugs. They don't need them. They just like them. And they're going to sell them as drugs. Children as a drug trade.
Just 4, 5, 6, you suck, man.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it would win the 4, 5, 6 any sympathy if it was a life-saving thing to have the kids. But that's about as far down the pit as you can go.
Yeah.
Is having the kids.
I mean, I guess
drugs.
the Toclafane going because it's fun is about as close otherwise, but that's the only one I could think of. Another RTD jam.
Maybe, and that was another 10% thing as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's great, just sticking on the 4, 5, 6, is that, as RTD says in the Declassified, we know very little about them. We don't see their ships. We don't see them apart from the ones that come in. Yeah. They leave. They probably find I guess we got to find somewhere else for our drug hit, so they might go maraud some other solar system for, as far as we know. It's, so tantalizingly few details are actually revealed about them.
If the 4, 5, 6 took off, that means all that blood is the kid that they had in there. So that's even more grim.
Oh, I never thought about that.
And it's red blood too, so I don't know if it's got red blood. Who knows?
I don't know. I didn't think about that. You could be right.
Yeah.
Because all we know is the whatever bile, whatever it is they spew is green.
Yeah.
But
who knows? This is all fan theorizing at this point. Yeah.
Well, I just took it as that was the 4, 5, 6's blood, but I did not.
But then why would it go up that
contemplate
transport beam, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, it was beamed up. I thought it was a 4, 5, 6's blood, not the kid's blood. Although that really does make me think.
Yeah.
as far as the whole beaming up is concerned, that happened after the 456 was destroyed.
Right. Yes.
So
right.
I'm assuming they just got beamed up just so their remains weren't there for the humans to investigate.
Yeah.
Or that's not even a beam up thing. We're just assuming it is like a connection of some sort or whatever, you know?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. As Stephen pointed out, we don't.
Exactly.
We don't know much.
Doesn't really
and
matter.
Yeah.
It's better if we don't know.
The characters in the show, they don't see the ship. They don't know where they came from or, whatever. So there's on both sides of the screen, nobody knows anything.
Yeah. They don't know they don't know that it's ended even. I like that, like, Colonel O'Duya is in there. It's like, they're gone. That's all, like, okay. So, but at that point, like, the government is like, so wait, the kids, do we need to, like, there must be like, there's a 30-minute cut somewhere of all the stuff that was like, basically, so what do we do now? We just take the kids back to school and everything's fine? Like,
we don't need any as you knows in this thing.
I know, I kind of like that we, like, don't, like, you just kind of have to imagine, because that's what the story they're telling at that point. Like, what chaos is. Okay, sorry kids, lunch break's over. Let's take you back to school now. Nobody mentioned this ever again. God, what awkward questions. It's a good thing that PM is probably facing resignation.
Oh, it's at the bare minimum. Yeah.
Although
later on in my notes, I just put a note saying the Prime Minister parade seems to continue.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Although that's 2009. Nowadays, of course, politicians don't need to resign for anything that they do in office. So
this guy would probably give himself a medal and then take over whatever the equivalent of the Kennedy Center is in London.
He'd probably still be in there. Yep, somehow. Don't have to fall on your sword back then. Anyway.
That said, the deputy PM or whoever she's meant to be, I don't know that I would want to take over as PM or
no, you are getting a whole bag of crap
after.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you were a different, again, there's no parties mentioned, but if she was from a different party, okay, sure, fine.
Right.
But she's going to be the same party. She'd be an elected MP from somewhere.
Who was it Gordon Brown PM back in 2009?
I think you're right.
Yeah, like the last vestiges of Labour before the Conservatives came in with David Cameron. I think he came in
I'd have
like
to check. I think Cameron's after this, but I could be wrong.
But very short, like very around that same time. I feel like the Labour government, which had been in for since Tony Blair was 2000.
Yeah, and it was on its last gasp of gas at that point.
Yeah,
Gordon Brown, 27th June 2007 to 11th May 2010.
Okay,
there you go.
There it is.
So they were still Gordon Browning it.
But you could kind of tell, like, we're at Labour's kind of on fumes now a little bit, and maybe this is like RTD's way of just sort of like poking at the, whatever in power government is, had he known who would come in a year after Children of Earth, maybe he would be even more savage with his portrayal.
They were kind of in like the lower key version of, where the Conservatives were like 4 leaders deep and you're like, okay, this has to end sometime.
Yeah.
Right? They weren't quite there, but you could feel that coming.
Yeah. Yeah, the Paul Martin years for those of us in Canada. Yeah, look at there you go. There's our mandatory Canadian content.
I think it's the first time we've done CanCon in one of these.
I know. Yeah, happy days.
Other than celebrating the mentions of Vancouver and whatnot. From
that's true. Yes,
day one.
That's true. Yeah. Did this air on Space? I'm trying to think. It probably did. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah,
yeah.
Space and BBC America. Yeah,
that was when Space was good back then.
Oh God, heady days.
And existed on top of everything else.
Heady days when original cable was the thing, as opposed to streaming / cable, which is probably.
I mean, this is the last glory time of original cable being the thing.
Yeah,
that was especially with City TV, which is who owned this. They had a rule, just to slightly deviate here, where. Because I talked to the guy who made Prisoners of Gravity and the new show Inner Space, I think it was called. He's been on here, Mark Asquith, and then he said, or Asquith, I can't remember how to say his name, like everybody else's name. But he told me outright. He said, "Yeah, the rule was here's a very tiny budget, but as long as you're not breaking broadcast standards, you can do whatever you want." And so much good TV came out of that.
God.
And then you get to YouTube where you can do just that with no money, and it's most of the time.
Space still started as Chum City thing, so I don't know how much I don't know, because okay, more CanCon time.
Sorry, everybody.
Back in the 80s, Moses, a guy called Moses Znaimer.
Yeah. Yep. That one I can say right.
it was kind of the spearhead of Much Music and a whole lot of other stuff. And he had some, let's just say, out of the box ideas and notions of what can be put on the air and how.
Honestly,
to
kind of revolutionized television at the time.
Yeah.
MTV ripped off so much from Much Music.
Yeah.
Did they really?
So,
I mean, MTV came first.
And every
but
Canadian television station ripped off Much Music too. Like,
That's
I worked
true.
at a cable channel, and they were like, "Well, we did, Much Music ripped us off." I'm like, "No, they didn't. You guys have an open concept because of City
That's
TV.
true.
Don't
Who was
give
the,
me that." But then I learned in TV, you don't openly contradict people who are in charge of things.
That's true. What was the somebody the Cowardly Dog puppet is just basically a direct rip off.
Triumph the comic dog.
Is Ed the Sock?
Ed the Sock. Just look up Ed the
Absolutely.
Sock, and he came years before the same
Oh, yeah.
cigar chomping puppet did. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Chris, you were saying.
I was saying, I don't know how much Znaimer influence there was in the early 90s when Space came to be.
Oh,
Yeah.
tons.
Space
Tons.
came when-
Bravo. They
well,
were
I'm
all.
sure
They all
there
had a
was
certain
some.
house
Yeah.
style, and Space had that too.
Yeah, Space was 97 it came in, as I recall. And so, but yeah, they used to have like a daily magazine program basically called Interspace, and it
was great.
There were 3 hosts on it, and they were fun, and it was like, they were talking about shows that were on there. It was basically Entertainment Tonight, except not as lurid and about the actual shows they're talking about, and it was fun and everything, and it was around this
And
time.
they were
Focus.
dorks. You could tell they were dorks.
They were, yeah, and they still are.
Yeah.
I follow Teddy Wilson on Twitter still, and
Yeah. I see him on TV.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, I used to work for a TV show in the 2008 called Electric Playground, and the reason that show was a success at the time and before that in the 90s is because the guy who hosted it, I got some things to say about him, maybe I'm not going to talk about, but he knew his stuff when it came to video games, and people noticed because every other video game show, the few that existed, it was just some moron talking about, hey, aren't video games fun? I'm an idiot. Like, I'm on air.
Right.
And he actually knew what he was talking about. And
You're talking Victor Lucas, yeah?
Victor Lucas, yeah. And that was gold currency at the time. Now you can get anybody, you can find out whatever you want. But in the pre-internet TV days, finding somebody who knew what the hell they were talking about was so rare.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and this to get to the point. This is the aura and the atmosphere that was Space that was airing Children of Earth at the time, and they must have done it 5 days in a row. I guess I honestly don't remember because I think we were watching it by alternate means at the time. I'm pretty sure it wasn't day and date. But I think it was probably close. I probably think it was probably close. And I honestly don't know. As Chris perhaps is Googling this as I'm talking
Chris.
about this.
We have faith in your abilities.
As far as to whether it aired 5.
When Space and BBC America aired this, and did they do it 5 nights in a row? I want to say it was like 2 weeks later that they did it, because that seemed to be about par for the course. I think this is for BBC America. This was basically their first big thing into because they had started with or no, it wouldn't have been because Planet of the Dead was, because they launched that at Comic-Con. 3 weeks after this, John Barrowman and David Tennant were there. They kissed on stage. And I think this was all part of the same sort of launch, Torchwood, Children of Earth, and Planet of the Dead. So probably in late July, early August, I want to say, for Children of Earth.
One thing we learned back in the day, which I don't know if I'm sure it's okay to say now because Space doesn't exist. One thing we learned back in the day was anytime Space would broadcast something that BBC America was broadcasting, Space had to defer to BBC America. So one example that we came across back in the day was during season 6, series 6, where Memorial Day rolled around. And because it's the start to the summer movie season, BBC America decided to postpone Series 6 Doctor Who a week.
Yeah. Mid-season.
Yeah. Mid-season. And Space had to follow suit. They could not do otherwise.
I remember that. Yeah.
Because they had to take their marching orders from BBC America. But anyway, according to what I'm looking at, BBC America started broadcasting it July 20th. So it was 10 days after it finished on BBC One.
Wow. Fairly quick turnaround at that point. And certainly the quickest turnaround.
God, yes.
I mean, because Planet of the Dead aired obviously in April, and they didn't have that until July anyway, but yeah.
Fairly quick turnaround as well. In the UK, the thing aired July 6th through the 10th, and the DVD was out on the 13th, 3 days later.
golly, why has everything become worse? How did everything get worse since 2009?
Incredible, isn't it?
Amazing how we had it so good. It's amazing.
And we probably complained at the time.
Yeah.
Not quite everything, just because, nowadays we have day and date, whereas
True.
This was a week and a half delayed.
That's true.
And it wasn't until 2011 that we got day and date Doctor Who.
The DVD coming out mere days after, though, man, that is
madness. Yeah. Utter madness.
That's not atypical for UK TV.
That's true.
Wasn't back in that era.
To tie a bow on this before we move on to the next point, because I do feel like we have derailed ourselves in this. I just want to.
Yeah, sorry, I'm the most criminal about that.
I want to point out that the name Victor Lucas rang a bell. Victor Lucas, of course, was in The Face of Evil, played the head of the tribe.
Different Victor Lucas.
Victor Lucas, different Victor Lucas. Victor Lucas, you know what his character was in The Face of Evil?
What's his name?
Andor. His name was Andor.
Oh, very nice.
Yep.
Very nice.
Also featured in that cast, Peter Baldock plays Acolyte. Star Wars, all of it. You know who else is in that story? Playing Caleb on film as pronounced by Louise Jameson? Leslie Schofield, who was in Star Wars, the original film from 1977. There you go.
What
madness?
Which one was Tommy Tallarico in, Stephen?
None.
I don't know.
He's in Electric Playground. I met him once.
Oh, okay.
I've heard some stuff about him, but when I met him for 10 seconds, he was friendly enough. So and tiny, and I'm saying that as a 5'7" man. He was tiny.
Very short.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Is.
Yeah. Next point, Chris. Dare we press on with our conversations about Torchwood Children of Earth? Hope you're enjoying this, everyone.
Lois gets put into custody, having been charged with espionage. I had lamented for day 4 that I was surprised that she wasn't just put into shackles and taken out of the Cobra room, but she was afterward, I guess.
She still had an important role to play, even though she was locked in prison for the whole episode. It didn't make sense for her to be sprung out, let's face it, because when Captain Jack is sprung from there, he doesn't have the choice. He's being handcuffed to let out himself.
He's been dragged out.
Yeah.
Also, just in that scene, all the soldiers is beating the crap out of the cops. Like, wouldn't they try to work together? Although they were beating the hell out of Andy as well, so I don't know.
Who makes a point of taking his cop stuff off first, which I found interesting. Kind of funny, too.
Yep, as in, symbolic, like, I am not, imagine, like, a policeman fighting back against Harvey, like, that might cause ripples, shall we say. But the fact that I was in a uniform. You can't say I was in uniform, so I'm now an off-duty cop, basically, yeah.
When Jack and Gwen are sitting in the cafeteria or whatever talking to Frobisher and Bridget, there's a whole lot more shaky cam. Also when Frobisher and the PM are talking, a whole lot of shaky cam there as well.
Well, it works.
It does. It's a little, I don't know. It gets to me after a bit, but I understand why it's there.
Handheld was a lot more in vogue, I think, back in those days.
Yeah.
I often think, like, was it, when it comes to handheld camera work, was it the quality of the cameras that were causing it to slightly be more shaky, or did people sort of dial off? Because I remember when NYPD Blue came in.
That's exactly what I was thinking about. That's a little earlier, but the style was still kind of, the last gasp of it was still around.
It was, and it was a lot of crazy handheld. It was almost like they were trying to be. Like we could.
It was hard to watch at the time.
It was, and I'm thinking of in British style, like sorry everyone, I watched like 3 different shows. I can only reference the 3 shows that I watched, but the thick of it, the first 2 seasons I thought which are from 2005, are very shaky. I feel like probably unnaturally shaky, but they don't. It doesn't feel like they're trying. It might just be the chaotic nature of it. By the time Series 3 comes around in 2009, it's still shaky, but not anywhere near as shaky. And I'm wondering if they've just become more used to sort of shooting stuff handheld wise and knowing how far out they need to be, because I do feel like there's, in some of the close-ups, you're right, Chris, it's like hold that thing still. I mean, I can hold a Sony Handycam steadier than that,
I find it amusing when stuff like that happens, when you consider how much technology, both hardware and software, goes into so many devices to absolutely prevent that from ever happening.
Yeah, but which means you could tell it's like an effect. Like the handheld is an effect, but like how far do you go with it to make...
Or an affectation's a better way to put it.
Yeah.
Because it is somebody actually shaking the thing or like, operating in that manner. They're not adding it in post.
There's like an Adobe Premiere shaky cam effect,
you probably could, but it would look, especially then, it would look terrible.
Yeah,
so.
it'd be like a ball green grass
Thank
effect.
goodness for AI to do that.
Oh, thank God.
Wonderful.
AI, please.
Yeah, and add fingers, what can't it do?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, add and subtract.
As
computers have done since the 40s.
As another quick aside, because that's all this discussion is at this point.
Yep, that's what this podcast has been for the last 19 years. Yeah,
all 12 seasons of NYPD Blue are on Disney Plus for you, Stephen.
Really? Oh wow! I
had
no idea.
Wow.
So you can get the most out of your subscription.
I just thought this too, and this is a
Good.
complete digression. Well, sort of. It's germane to the cinematography, but
Sure.
Woody Allen's movies took a weird turn into like shaky cam, and that was probably a little bit before everybody knew what a creepy was. So it wouldn't surprise me if some people were influenced by that too, like watching Woody Allen movies and going, "Oh, look at there's at least 3 or 4 of his movies that are really a lot of handheld," and like starting in like the late 90s and kind of going into 2000. So it wouldn't surprise me if that kind of bled over into what people were doing on TV as well.
Huh.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I know. Because I know who was at the Bourne movies in the early 2000s also.
Yeah, that too.
Like that was the big thing in movies, I think, certainly. And then, it's fascinating.
That might be more of what was influencing.
Yeah, because, even it's super rare even in classic Who. I'm just trying to think. Like, obviously...
Well, I mean, it's how difficult. Other than like on film, you wouldn't want to do it.
It would be film, yeah. I'm just trying to think like there's a handheld shot following Colin Baker in The Mark of the Ronnie walking through there. And it's as shaky as someone walking with a film camera would be. It's not like trying to be all cinema verite sort of stuff in 1820,
But you definitely notice an old Who when you see that because it's rare.
It's so strange. It is so strange to see it actually happen, yeah. All right, there we go. Covered camera shakiness. Is there any other digression you want us to start on your next point there, Chris, on your notes?
Sure. I don't know. I'm just sorry. As another aside,
go ahead.
Children of Earth was aired on BBC America to launch their HD service.
Wow, how about that? To launch it,
was
heavy days, man.
Yep.
Props to BBC America, man. For the time that they had it, I know later on they would cram commercials in and actually have like spoilers in there, coming up in the next segment on some of their episodes later on. But
and their paid premium service still had commercials.
Oh, that too. But you know what? For the time that they were involved, they dug it. They got it right, and to actually launch their HD service with a Doctor Who spinoff, good on them. Well done, BBC America.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of the few times I'll say, well done, BBC America.
Yeah, before they clog their schedules to Star Trek The Next Generation reruns and everything else. But
it just doesn't make any damn sense.
No, but this is the downside of cable, Warren, that we always, we think, oh, cable, remember that? Oh, right, that's the thing where they just threw old reruns on after a while when they couldn't think of what else to put on there. So.
The History Channel. Yeah, it's Ice Road Truckers or something.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly, yep.
Or Scrap Heap Challenge or something.
Ancient Aliens.
Yeah.
Well, they're ancient. That's history.
That's true.
Yep. Yeah, A&E does not show either arts or entertainment anymore.
Nope.
Long since forgotten. Mm-hmm.
Where were we? Green. Okay, so the Prime Minister telling Frobisher his kids will be taken. He turns into more of a baddie as the series progresses. And then, of course, uses Frobisher's terrible day words against him. And he can barely even look at Frobisher throughout their conversation. Just have his head down 90% of the time. And it's like, he's slime. It's
acted perfectly, though. He's just professional enough in his scumminess. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. You almost believe that he does feel bad, because he's like, I'm really, really sorry. Like you act, that's what makes it so awful, is that you kind of believe him, that he feels bad for what he's doing to Frobisher. But you know that he's like happy to have someone else take the burden for this one, Yeah. Oof. Awful, man. Makes me want to watch Bloody Sunday again, because he's in a prominent role too. Nicholas Farrell. Yeah. Underrated performance in this.
I had a note about Capaldi's acting during that scene, and then at the end, Green just gives him the brush off, saying he's very busy. It's like, it's so expedient for such an a-hole.
A bounder.
The helicopter, a cad, if you will.
Classic term, the bounder.
The helicopter and general vehicle budget for the series must have been massive.
They saved it all for the end,
I think they had their helicopter for one day, and we're going to get all of our shots of London in there, and then we're going to land about 3 or 4 times, and the right amount of people are going to get... I don't know if you actually see many people actually get on or off. I think we just see sort of the helicopter land and leave, and no one's actually on it because there's closed doors. You know, when you're shooting helicopters, listen, you get what shots you can and not have to worry about having cast there, is what I'm guessing, but...
Yeah, and then all the no-name buses or coaches and whatnot, and the army vehicles, and they had a lot of vehicles. Alrighty, you already talked about it a bit, but just the storytelling aspect of Bridget talking to Lois and just cutting back and forth between Frobisher and that, just not the first time we've seen that, I think, but very effective nevertheless. Frobisher killing his family, did that. One thing was
blah, blah, blah. Something my turn.
I don't want to rehash it again.
I know.
However, you see Frobisher's hand being super shaky when he's pulling the gun out of the lockbox. But apparently he was still good enough to steel himself, and one shot per person is enough. I wonder. So my first thought was, with the pause between shots 3 and 4.
Where this is going. Okay, yeah.
The shots between 3. The pause between shots 3 and 4. So who knows what order? Who cares? But his daughters and his wife are the first 3 shot. So was the pause because he wanted to make sure they were dead, or was the pause because he needed some extra time to put the gun to his own head?
I think he has to look at what he's just done. Yeah, so that's the dramatic way to do it, as far as I'm concerned. In my head, that's what's happening, which is what this is supposed to play out as anyway. It's what you're thinking it's going to be. You're projecting whatever onto it.
Yeah,
it's left open ended for interpretation. But
yeah, exactly.
I'm just thinking there's more than one way you could take that, really. And another side thing. Sorry, as we were talking about before. As we were talking about before recording, when the hub got blown up, we don't know. I can't even speak anymore. We don't know what happened to Miffanwy, the pterodactyl. Because I was trying to read up on it after, and the only stuff on the TARDIS wiki that talks about events with Miffanwy after Cyberwoman are all audio and prose. Come
on, CBBS, you know what to do.
Other non-canonical, non-TV stuff. So.
In my head canon, Miffanwy...
I'm assuming she's dead.
I think Miffanwy sneaks out in between series 2 and 3, both, and is flying happily around, living on whatever Jurassic Park /world /island all the dinosaurs live in the endless movies they keep making.
Well, here's another project for you, Stephen, because you have enough of these. You just have to take all the shots of Jack in a helicopter, and he looks out, and you have Miffanwy flying next to the helicopter, and then you play the Jurassic Park music next to it, just to ape the ending of Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
It's a long way to go from Wales to an island off the coast of Costa Rica.
So. Oh no, it's to be in Wales, but we're just aping Jurassic Park.
Yeah, exactly. Jurassic Park Wales. I mean, why not? There's a lot of islands in there. Jurassic Park Jersey. That's where they flew to Jersey.
Sure.
Or no, maybe the Isle of Man. Jurassic Park is now on the Isle of Man because that's close to Wales, and that's where Miffanwy is.
Sounds good.
In Torchwood season 5.
So, despite all of her issues with Jack, Alice knows full well that he's the best person to fight back for the good guys, and thankfully convinces Johnson of that fact.
Guy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But she still knows that their best chance was him. So that's good.
Yeah.
Alice's expression of abject terror as Decker says they need a child for the constructive wave. Jack just nods, can't say anything. You touched on that earlier, Stephen. And then she just runs.
And when she's finally let in, and just her I have friends who have had children since I've met them, and their attitude towards drama that threatens children has completely changed now that they have children, understandably. And I can imagine that scene where she runs in and, and just is like bawling and like screaming, somebody help him, when he's dead, but like no one has the heart to tell her this and anything like that. Like, you can tell in many occasions that the people who make the show, chiefly the head writer Russell T Davies, does not have children, because like anyone with children, I'm not sure their first instinct. Although Russell T Davies did say his first draft says he didn't kill Stephen the kid. And I handed it back and said, kill the kid, come on, like I just feel like parents would have a harder time having that be the ultimate solution for this this story.
It's an impossible solution, which was what makes a good drama, right? It does. I mean, because there's no winning this thing.
Well, the story kicks off with Jack giving kids the 4, 5, 6, and technically they don't die, or at least nothing on screen. We're led to believe they live forever.
Fentanyl.
But it I don't know, the fact a child has to die to win, and
in quotes,
in quotes, and the fact that child is Jack's only grandson, it seems kind of fitting as a plot resolution. Like,
it totally works as what it is. It's just hard to watch, which is the point, right? So
it's very hard to watch it, but it does feel fulfilling.
It's earned.
It's kind of a weird dichotomy.
Yeah, not fulfilling as much as earned. It feels...
It's here's an idea in 2025 for Doctor Who. Complex. Multi-layered. Right. What an idea.
It's interesting, isn't it? How that can be done when you have more time to tell the story properly.
Yeah. And then RTD kind of points it out in the Declassified, but with Jack sacrificing Stephen, would he have done it if Ianto hadn't been killed?
That was an interesting point that he raised, in his own script.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Because he's dead inside now. Like, I've just lost Ianto. Probably not. Ianto probably would have been there.
Destroyed emotionally.
Ianto probably would have been there. And, well, I don't know. I don't know what Ianto would have done, because he
would have been horrified by the idea of it.
He would have been horrified, but I also feel like Ianto, knowing how Torchwood operates and the situation at hand, I almost do feel like what else could be done?
This is also why Clem had to die, because if Clem was around for episode 5, he would be the obvious choice, and he would volunteer to do it himself, probably. Yeah, right. So
from a story standpoint,
that'd be Doctor Who's solution.
That would be Doctor Who's. Very good point, Warren. That would have been. Yep.
From a story standpoint, though, Clem's death is how they figure out how to destroy the 4, 5, 6 in general. Yeah. So it serves more than one purpose. Yeah, I guess. Right till the end, Green is a weasel wanting to place the blame on the Americans, saying that they got off lucky, and okay. I mean,
wasn't exactly sure how the Americans asserted authority there, and I'm like, I'm not going to bother thinking about this.
No,
the general just is like, you bungled this, where I'm taking over.
But then he salutes him at the end of all that as he walks out. Yeah.
It might have been sarcastically or something, or ironically or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jack goes Hitchhiker's Guide at the end. I don't hate that.
I forgot all about that.
He needs to go away because of this. Like, I totally makes sense. Also, I do love the line, the Welsh complaining, I haven't missed that, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I have missed that. Yeah. But at the time, they didn't know if Torchwood was going to have any more episodes, so it's a fitting enough end if Jack comes back, which he does, obviously. But if he hadn't come back, same thing. It's still a fitting end either way.
Yeah.
As RTD said, that they couldn't have ended any other way but Jack leaving.
We see him very briefly in The End of Time, a few months after that, but that's it until Miracle Day. So,
yeah, but that's just at the end with was it End of Time with the midshipman frame with Russell Tovey?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay, I get that mixed up with
Journey's End.
Journey's End.
No,
because the same thing happens in both.
Are you saying that RTD repeats himself in season-ending finales? I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, let's be fair here. All 3 showrunners repeat themselves.
That's true. That's very true. Yep.
I think Moffat is a little more guilty for repeating himself. I happen to like when he's repeating, but he is repeating a lot.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep.
And then the last thing I had on my list was in the declassified, RTD says he likes to think that Frobisher is a descendant of Caecilius 2,000 years later, that his family finally got their comeuppance from being saved from Pompeii. And of course, that's a motif he uses later for Belinda/Monday Flynn.
That's also what, kind of what, in a way, he ties the loop. Speaking of dark, I mean, I wonder who wrote this bit in just a few months after this in The Waters of Mars, where, what's her name, the astronaut on the waters on Mars base, on Bowie Base 1, when she returns home, learning that she should have died and shoots herself.
Duncan's character.
Yeah, which is a great scene.
Supremely good. Another dark scene, which is why we like that episode so much too, you know?
I'm pretty sure that was RTD, not Phil Ford.
Yeah, I feel like that had RTD.
There are some good RTD bits in that.
Yeah.
It's like the I am the Time Lord Victorious, etc. The one good part about Time Lord Victorious is that scene, whole thing on Mars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of it very, very dark. Yeah. But of course, the Doctor wouldn't have seen John Frobisher, so he wouldn't have known to like select that face when he regenerated into the 12th Doctor. So it would have been all Caecilius. So well. Torchwood Children of Earth. Harrowing
Still
watch.
holds up.
Still holds up. 100% holds up.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. I'm glad we finally did this. I've been thinking about it for quite a while. It's been on our little planning doc for, to coin a phrase, years and years.
Yes, there you go.
Well, it's a sin if we didn't do it.
Wow.
But it would have been at a right
cucumber. I'm just going to throw that in there. I have no idea how. I'm going to work that in.
Which I haven't watched.
No, I mean,
yeah, but when the War Between the Land and the Sea got greenlit, and now as apparently the final thing under the Disney contract, I thought it was important to revisit this. So we're watching this, dear listener, and talking about it in August of 2025. So we have no idea when at time of recording War Between's coming out, but the Patreon supporters would have listened to this already. I'm curious to see what the any possible similarities between this 5-part one story Doctor Who spinoff featuring Colin McFarlane playing the same character will be to the new 5-part Doctor Who spinoff with Colin McFarlane playing the same character.
7, 8, 9 come back.
Yeah, maybe the Sea
and they're underwater.
The Sea Devils are actually the 4, 5, 6. Yeah,
the Sea 8, 9.
No,
too much.
No,
Too far.
Too far. But anyway,
Unit is back. We know that.
Yeah,
as you kind of allude to.
They are back. So yeah, well, I look forward to that. Hope you enjoyed our 5-part retrospecticus of Children of Earth. Hope you found a way to watch it. Of course, that's a lot harder these days. But yeah, and let us know if you had similar thoughts back in 2009. And what do you think of it today? And if you even watched it back in 2009 and what you thought of it today, or if you didn't watch it
or if
today.
you were even alive in 2009.
Maybe you weren't.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Maybe
I was about to turn 40 the next year,
Yeah.
2009, so thanks for that.
Maybe you are the new children of Earth. Anyway, that's it. That is it for our Torchwood retrospecticus. Next week, something entirely different. Who knows what that will be? But in the meantime and in between time, I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Morning, Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
So long for now.